My soul treats animals as disposable pieces of property. I need to vent. My soul is a horrible person. This might be long, so I apologize in advance. I'm so upset, I'm angry and in tears all at the same time. My soul just messaged me looking for sympathies because she is putting her healthy dog down tomorrow. My husband and I saw this a mile away and called it months ago. Her dog no longer fits into her aesthetic and isn't convenient for her anymore. Let me give you some backstory. My husband and I got together 11 years ago. I already had 3 children from a previous relationship and his family hated that he was with someone who had kids 7 years ago. I had another child with my now husband. As soon as my baby was born, here comes Sol acting disrespectful and not respecting boundaries that both my husband and myself had very gently enforced, such as not letting your 6-year-old pick up and hold my newborn, not posting pictures of my child all over Facebook without asking, and not hovering around me while breastfeeding and watching, among other things. She flipped out, ignored our requests and continued doing what she wanted. So we distanced ourselves from her, but it was hard because she lived across the street. It got so bad that she would stand on her porch while my children were playing outside and zoom her phone camera to the max and take pictures of them and post on Facebook. She threatened me in text messages that she was going to tell my extremely abusive ex, who I had a protective order against, my address so he could find where I was. She even went as far as to go to my children's school, also her child's school, continuously, and make false reports to the principal that my children were bullying her child, and she wanted them disciplined and removed from the school. Don't worry, the principal saw right through her and even said she's nuts. Anyhow, it all came to a boiling point when she confronted me in the middle of the street, with my mill and other sill plus some of her friends, and demanded I let her see my baby. When I said, not a chance, you're acting crazy, she jumped at me screaming and dragged her nails down my face deep, sending my blood everywhere. My husband luckily jumped in and shoved her away, and brought me inside as I could not see for all the blood. A neighbor saw this and phoned the police. She lied to the police, said I came at her and she defended herself. Mill and other sill and her friends all backed up her story. No one got arrested. We moved away ASAP, literally in like a week, and cut off communication with all of husband's family. She told her lies to everyone that would listen. Everyone hated us, thinking I was the one that attacked her. She even went as far as to put makeup on herself to look like bruises and posted it on Facebook. Trust me, I wish I had got a shot in, but I didn't. Anyhow, fast forward, my husband's grandmother passes and we see them again at the funeral 6 years later. We start talking again. Why? I'm probably an idiot, that's why. So in the years that we didn't talk, she sued her job for wrongful termination because she says she couldn't go to work because I attacked her and she now has anxiety. I roll, she gets a small settlement. She claims disability tax credit cause she has anxiety now. Small settlement. Has a wedding, says cash only gifts, has more money. Then she's bragging to everyone about how she's going to buy a house now that she has a down payment. Gets denied by every mortgage lending place broker she can find. Has to borrow 20k from her mill, and when that doesn't work she has her in-laws put both their names on the mortgage because they can't get approved a loan. She doesn't work and he's always looking for ways to not go to work but make money, like unemployment insurance, so no steady income for them. But now they brag to everyone about their hard work it took to buy a house. They have a very we are better than you attitude. Okay, so now to the animal part. This is what makes me so upset. Years ago she had a cat 2 years old. It was male and it got a urinary tract infection and had some crystals in his urine. Vet said it was an easy fix with a course of meds and food that helps prevent urinary problems. Fine, right? Nope. Instead of taking the vet's advice, she tells the vet to put the cat down and the cat is put to sleep. Then she gets a puppy, scams the breeder out of paying the full amount, and then when the dog is like 5, and the vet again says he has some totally manageable and fixable thing wrong, she puts the dog down and goes and gets another puppy, Boston Terrier. Recently her and her husband got credit cards using the house as equity, and they maxed them out buying 2 French Bulldog puppies from backyard breeders, no papers, with the intent to breed them repeatedly to pay off the house. When I was at their house a few weeks ago, they were going on about getting another Frenchie puppy so they can always have a litter on hand, but they were waiting till their Boston Terrier they have had for 3 years is gone first. My husband called it on the way home. They are going to put down the Boston Terrier to make room. So lo and behold, she messages me tonight saying she's upset cause her dog is getting put down at the vet tomorrow at their request because he apparently bit the mail lady. I just feel like she really shouldn't get animals if she is constantly going to put them down when they no longer fit in her life. She's going to backyard breed these Frenchies. Has no clue about the breed. I had to tell her the other day Frenchies can't physically swim after she was repeatedly trying to get them in the river. She still doesn't believe me. Her home she just bought and brags to everyone about smells like dog pee cause she lets them go in the house or on the back deck, never the grass. She also insults my dogs because they are a mixed breed and not purebred like hers. I don't know. She's had 3 animals put to sleep in 7 years now at her request. I even tried to help find a rescue that she could give her dog to before he is put down tomorrow and she refused. Maybe I'm overreacting. Most of the things she does I just ignore and move on, but I just feel so bad for the animals she gets. What happens when the female Frenchie can't have another litter? Is she going to claim health concerns and put it down too? I don't know. If you made it this far, thanks for staying and letting me rant, and I apologize for the length of this. Someone please calm me down. I'm about to angrily lose my shit. So if anyone remembers, a while ago I posted in this group about my wonderful soul putting down her healthy dog because he no longer fit into her aesthetic. Tiny sad update. She quietly put the dog down and kept that info completely off social media, obviously. But that's not why I'm angry today. My soul recently joined one of those scammy pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing prey on stay-at-home moms type company called Medea, selling weight loss pills and other various gimmicks that claim to make you thin and beautiful. She tried to sell it to me in the beginning. I did my research, found out a bunch of stuff on my own. Like the company has been sued so many times it's ridiculous, and even was fined by the FDA at one point. It was so bad they actually changed the entire name and appearance of the company after it all happened. Not to mention, other than their own product distributors claiming all the weight they have lost, if any, was solely because of these pills and liquid stuff. There is absolutely zero scientific evidence that this stuff actually makes you lose weight more than a placebo would. So today my husband is talking to his 90-year-old grandfather. He always calls him. My husband is the only one out of all his cousins and siblings, including Sil, and even his father and uncle, that actually call and go see his grandfather. My husband learns that Sil called the grandfather solely for the purpose of selling him this overpriced weight loss crap. His grandfather weighs about 150 pounds and is 5 feet 9 inches, not even overweight FFS. She, Sil, convincingly gets grandfather, who is not entirely 100% of sound mind anymore, to purchase a whole bunch of this crap. Husband is pissed, but whatever, it's his money to do as he pleases. But then he thinks to ask about his medication, knowing that with his old age and health conditions it might be bad. After about 5 minutes of digging on this company's on web page, he finds a warning label about various serious side effects, and more importantly a warning label about not taking this stuff if you have high blood pressure. Grandfather has very high blood pressure and takes meds for it. Husband gets on text message and blasts Sil. How could you sell grandpa this shit knowing it will hurt him? Do you not research this crap before you sell it to people and convince them to ingest it the whole time she's fighting with him, giving the same rehearsal of MLM bulls %T they tell them to say, and offending selling it to the grandfather? My husband is livid. I'm livid. She doesn't see how she did anything wrong. How could you sell something without reading the warnings and labels to people it could potentially seriously hurt? Especially when they are your own family members. Ugh. So angry. Rant over. Oh, and she won't give the grandfather his money back or cancel the order. My sister, I deserve to live in a house that you bought because I made 3 kids. I'm a 32-year-old woman and I just bought my first house. It has 3 bedrooms, a yard, and is just what I need right now. I'm single and have 2 dogs and a cat. My sister is 34, has 3 children and lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. Lately, she's been talking about how such a tiny living space is not enough for the 4 of them. When she got to know about the house I had bought, she became very upset and told me I was being wasteful as I'm single and don't have kids and therefore don't need such a big space. I reminded her that what I do with my hard-earned money is none of her business. She went on to complain to our mother about how selfish I was being. Yesterday evening, I got a call from my mom telling me I should let my sister and her kids move into the house. My house. I told her that no one was going to live in the house that I paid for but me, and that extra space would be great for my dogs to play in. My mom also got very upset with me and told me I was being unreasonable. That my sister's kids are growing and need the space more than my dogs. I offered to help my sister out financially so she could rent a bigger place. My mom got my sister on the phone who shot down the idea, telling me I needed to let her and her kids live in my house. When I refused again, she very generously suggested a compromise. I could live in the house with her and her kids and would not have to find somewhere else to live. She said this as if she was doing me a favor. I told her she had lost her mind and hung up. However, my mom and sister kept on pestering me, with my mom trying to guilt trip me by telling me that my sister had been crying over not being able to live in a nice house like mine. I got fed up and decided to shame them. I made a post on Twitter about this and of course, most of the commenters could hardly believe how entitled my mom and sister are. They got bashed pretty badly. After getting the verdict from Twitter, I decided to send my sister and mom a link to this post, letting them know that I had made it. As expected, they freaked the duck out. My mom has been texting me telling me what a horrible daughter I am, and how I've embarrassed her in front of so many people. I told her to calm down as these are all strangers on the internet who have no idea who she is. But asking my mom to listen to reason is like asking my cat to stop shoving things off of horizontal surfaces. So I told her I'd talk to her when she's willing to act like an adult. My sister has been crying about this to my mom and any other relative who will listen. Most of them won't. They had been on my side from the start and had agreed that my sister's demands were ridiculous. They think this whole thing is hilarious. The cure to lesbianism? Just marry a man and have kids. My grandparents have always been on the crazy side, but hearing them in action continues to blow me away. I live with them, so I get the occasional treasure such as China engineered the virus to take over the world and the only reason BLM wants to defund the police is so coloreds have more time to run from the cops. Yikes. Anyway, someone at the dinner table brought up Hallmark showing 2 women getting married, thus commencing the shit show. My grandmother started off by saying that she would write in a letter to the network to complain. I see where my mother gets her Karenisms. Then my grandfather chimed in by asking which one is the husband. Goodness gracious, it's like I was catapulted back to the 50s. They refused to even say the word lesbian. Instead they used awkward colloquialisms like funny, weird, and off-kilter. The irony of this whole situation is that I myself am a lesbian. They just don't know that. I'm open about it everywhere except at home. To be honest, I'm surprised they haven't just guessed, but then again I've never known them to have a functional gaydar. The icing on this terrible cake was when my grandpa piped up once again, saying that they'd be alright if they just married a man and had a couple of kids. Be a lot happier, too. Boy hi howdy, I almost broke down laughing at that. It's as if they've effectively learned nothing past the date of 1962. It's like a car crash. I want to look away, but I can't. It's a morbid fascination. Think my whole family can't be this nuts? Think again. My mom got kicked out of a Pier 1 import 3 days ago for refusing to wear a mask. For your information, she works with children and is a teacher. Well, thanks for listening to me ramble. I'll continue to live my best life as a childless lesbian hippie degenerate.